This is comedian Jamie Lissow, and whether you like it or not, you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio.
My name is Kerry Thomas Cody, and you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio.
This is DC O'Rourke, host of Hauntingly Yours, and you are listening to Fallen Hour Radio.
This is the Ghost Biker, and you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio.
Aaron Baker, and you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio.
That was like a whack-ass intro, dude.
My name is Sadie Linick. This is Marcus. We're joined tonight with Aaron Baker, long companion of the podcast, and you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio. How's that?
That was a lot better.
That was way cool.
Decent. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so
if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
I used to do that.
I used to do that.
Well, how do I used to do that? So tonight's podcast, we have literally nowhere to go. So it's kind of
winging this one.
Winging it hard.
And I think we settled on a topic of...
Fuck, you're a pervert.
Dude, just the way you said it, man.
I think we settled on... You pressed record, right, on the camera?
Do you want to go take a look? You better take a look. You better just look.
You heard the ding when you turned it on?
Yeah, I saw it said record.
Okay, cool. So...
Cut all this bullshit.
Oh, shit.
Let's go again.
So I want to make a mention to Taisha Olette, our #1 Patreon. Also, Rick from Tactical Mountain Group in Billings, Montana, in the kiosk in Rimrock Mall. Awesome dude. Gave us some free jerky.
Nice.
You got to go check them out, though. They're first responder and veteran owned.
Do you have any of that left here?
I do.
Dude,
yeah.
You got to try it, man. It's pretty good.
Should I do it with the last tab?
Yeah.
No. Just ruin the jerky.
So tonight's podcast, I think we settled on the subject of the paranormal, and we're gonna. Hey, like, where do you even start? We don't have it to say a subject or nothing.
This one time there were some ghosts.
Where do you want to take this, Marcus? Go ahead.
I don't know. I honestly don't know where to go with this one, but all I just wanted to do was just actually get back into the paranormal,
right?
Because we kind of strayed away from that for a bit.
Right.
And I miss it.
Yeah.
Did I tell the story yet of that fucking broom flying down my hallway?
No, you didn't tell it on here yet.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, shoot.
Go ahead.
Want to get into a really quick story?
Yeah, just like, man, I'll start off at the beginning. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months ago, I was drinking with Gus and those guys in the garage, and Jessica calls me. And usually she doesn't really call me. She just texts when I'm doing that. She's like, hey, there's somebody in the house. I was like, what the fuck? So, like, me, Gus, and Zach all pile into my truck like a freaking SWAT team and run in there and fucking, like, clear the house. And there's nobody there. And the dogs wouldn't go past the kitchen. And she said somebody was in the kids' room messing around with shit. She could hear toys going across the floor. And somebody digging around. And so... yeah, we went through there like a SWAT team, cleared all the rooms. We're like, there's nothing here. All the kids and Jessica were in my bedroom at the other side of the trailer.
Yeah.
The dogs were going to go past the kitchen into where the kids' room were, and there was nothing there. I was like, man, I think you're just hearing shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like, a few weeks later, I'm home alone. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was just watching TV. And I hear this crash. And so I was like, oh, Jessica had some laundry on the table. You know, I figured something just fell off. And I go up there, and Rhea's got this little, like, toy broom. Comes in one of those kits, you know, with all the little girl shit.
Yeah.
And that broom was leaning up against the table, like the chair. And when I went over there, it was all the way down the hallway at my grandma's bedroom door.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
wow.
It was pretty spooky. I just, like, picked it up and, like, put it back. Well, I put it in her room and then just, like, shut their bedroom door. Continued to watch TV.
Like it was normal.
Yeah, I was like, oops, let's not give that any fucking action. No, I think I did light some pinion, but yeah, So there's something going on at my house. I
Like
feel
it literally chucked it down your hallway. It didn't just fall over.
It didn't fall over. It got chucked down the
Might be
damn
time
hallway.
for impromptu paranormal investigation.
Right. I think it's all your guys' fault, though. So
So go
I'm
ahead.
blaming you guys.
It's that freaking.
It's that spirit that threw the shot glass at us.
Probably.
yeah. Or all the stuff out of his. Did he tell you about that? Do you still have that camera footage?
Of
Your cabinet when it opened up and all
Oh,
your
yeah.
cups and stuff started coming out of his cabinet.
yeah.
Well, when did that
Yeah,
happen?
I was working in Billings, and Alethea texted me, and she said, "Did you see what happened?" Because I get like alerts on my phone if something
Yeah.
happens, like loud or something. And she was like, it was her sister, and they're both in the living room, and she said, "We're both in here, and you can see us walking around." She said, "You can see us walking around in there, and we come in here and sit down, and I think they're out of the view of the camera, and all they hear is this like huge crash in the kitchen." And they think that one of the cats or something jumped in the cabinet. They go in there and the cabinets are jumped on the counter. And they go in there and the cabinet's open and there's pots on the ground.
Oh, shoot. One of the upper cabinets?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But that was a weird one. I don't know. I don't really know how to react to I guess happenings. You know what I mean?
It's funny because like when we talk about scary stories and shit like that, I'm like, man, I want to do that. That's scary. That's fucked up. You know, I'd be so scared to be out of there. But when it really happens in my house,
Yeah.
like that straight man instinct kicks over. I'm like, not real. There's a
yeah.
logical explanation.
Right. That's what I tried to do too. As I was trying to look for an explanation. Like last night, I didn't tell anyone this yet, but I was cleaning up, and like I said, the internet shut off and everything. Your phone was off too, and I had nothing to do, and like I have like workouts on my phone, can't do that because I don't have internet, can't play my game online, can't do nothing, can't work on my computer. So I had to start tearing apart my closet and then cleaning it out. And as I went to the bathroom, and then I heard Jasper's piano start going off, sitting over here. And Haku is in the room with Alethea, and Peanut's sleeping. And I heard this piano just start going like crazy, like there's like
Was it the
music.
Twilight Zone?
The music started playing, and I was like, well, it could be something, like it could just like unsettled or something. And so I go over there and I set it up and put it to where like nothing can touch the buttons or anything.
Yeah.
I go back to the bathroom, turns on again, and then I was like, all right, it's time for bed.
Dude, when we were kids, I don't know if there's any 90s people that listen to this shit, but I used to have, me and Zach both, we had this Mr. Potato Head, like little game thing, and you could like change his costume and all that
Oh, I used to have
on
that
there,
thing
but
too.
it was like digital.
Oh, I never had that. I had the actual potato head.
No, we had the Potato Head too,
Oh, did
but
you?
we had a game that we had got one Christmas. It was a digital version. It already had Mr. Potato Head there. You know, you could see him in the
Yeah.
colors, and then it would just light up the different outfits behind him. And that thing used to talk. It used to go like, "Hi, I'm Mr. Potato Head. Come play a game with me," and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's ringing a bell to me.
And then that thing would go off. Like, we had this thing for years. Like, there's no way the battery should have been alive. And it was kind of like freaking, what the hell is it? Dane Cook has a story about, like, the alphabet one.
Oh, yeah.
He did that kind of shit. He, like, got demonic sounding after a while. And me and Zach used to, like, smash that thing and throw it in the toy box with it off. And it would just come on and fucking start playing. We'd get
strange.
scared. But, like, we wouldn't, like, throw it away. I don't know why we wouldn't throw it away. We should have just chucked it in the garbage. But it ended up, like, shipping out later on. Like, we moved and all that other stuff. Didn't hear it for years. And then, like, one day, we're at our, like, 2 houses later. We're at the house on Cody.
Oh god, it had to be
our
that house.
Yeah.
Our
And
house.
it freaking, it just started, it was at the bottom depths of, like, a toy box somewhere in the basement. And we were playing Nintendo 64, and that motherfucker went off again.
What the heck?
Hi, I'm Mr. Potato Head. Come play with me type shit.
Dude,
Like, all deep.
play with me.
Come play with me.
Dude, but I mean, literally, this went through like what 3 houses. Those batteries should have been deteriorated by then.
Right, we got that thing in, like, it had to have been, like, 97.
Wow.
And then this is way later. It's, like, 2001.
Wow.
Wow.
And this thing's still trying to play with us and stuff. And we got rid of it after
Alethea
that.
was just born. She got that freaking potato head.
I was born in 91, so
Dude,
come on.
that's insane, man. No, like seriously though, those batteries should have been deteriorated by then.
Right.
That is a long span.
It's a long span. And when we first had it, we played the fuck out of that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it just, you know, like all toys, when you're a child, you get a new one. That one goes to the bottom of the toy box.
This is like the time of where Furbies were all the rage.
Dude, we
right?
totally had a Furby
I hate
around the
those
same
things,
time.
man.
Right. And
Tamagotchis.
yeah, and I remember growing up and everyone freaking out about Furbies, and we had a Furby.
You had a Furby.
Yeah, and
I had no Furby.
Yeah.
I
But,
hate those things.
there was like all these stories going around, like on the news and things, people saying their kids are having messages come through on Furby saying to kill their parents, things like that.
Yeah, or
and,
they even change their name and they start saying this strange stuff.
Yeah, and I remember growing up and hearing about it all the time, saying there's a demon in there, there's a demons that are Furbies are demons and things like that. It was like
The Furbies have become sentient. Did you hear that?
yeah.
It was like
That was like
laughter.
super loud. It wasn't that truck.
What the
It's
hell
the
was
Furby.
that?
No, that was like a weird moan.
You got a Furby in here, don't you?
No, I should have a Furby though.
I thought you had
Dude,
a Furby.
I don't know. Are these mics just super hot right now?
Maybe.
Because I was
I was like, kind of thing.
it might be your toy over your speak and spell.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
what
weird.
spell. That's what it is.
See that thing? Yeah.
We never know. We don't know.
Dude, that sounded weird. I'm
I
gonna
can
go ahead and
spell
say.
great, but
I'm gonna go ahead and say it was a dog outside, man, because that just sounded
It could have
super
been a dog.
weird,
You
man.
never know. Yeah, sounds
It's
like
not
a
your
dog.
dog. Your dog's like a half pint.
somebody's out there trying to make a new form of pox again. It's like monkey pox.
Oh my god.
I don't know why that joke is in me. Like later.
It's all right, bro. It's all right.
Oh no, wrong one.
Dude.
There you go.
I think the other one worked.
Did it?
It did work.
So we have
Horrible
this. This would be a hard podcast because we had no subject. We got nowhere to go. And just talk.
It's just gonna go everywhere.
Right. And
Dude, like you literally just reminded me of a story though. It was actually my mom that told me the story, and then I heard it from my uncles and stuff too. But when they first moved here from Washington, they moved into a house in Crow, and I remember them telling me about them. I think they were putting stuff away or whatever, and they said it was like midnight, and the stereo they had was an old stereo, and they said this thing just kicked on and started. You heard this guy's voice on there. It almost sounded like it was a commercial. And it was saying it was saying all this weird stuff, and then it said if you need anything, call 666.
wow.
And then it just stopped. And my grandpa walked over to the stereo, and the thing wasn't even plugged into the wall.
Right. I would have been like, I could use some cash right now. 666. Come on, dude.
Wow.
But I remember her telling me about that story, and just, dude, that gave me like the creeps, man. Just the thought of it, like picturing that. And you go and check, and the thing isn't even plugged into the wall. And just out of nowhere, in the middle of the night, this thing kicks on and says something like that. Dude, that is just one of the creepiest stories I always thought.
My dad has a stereo just like that too.
Those
One of the
old
old Kenwood ones with all
Yeah.
the stacks and all the speakers.
Yeah.
I had to make sure my math is right. Anyways, people always have the stigma too about the number 6, and when you read into like numerology and things, especially with biblical things, the
Yeah.
man was created on the 6th day,
Yeah.
and everyone has this like stigma about the number 6, like it's bad luck and things like that.
Bad omen.
Right? I just had to throw that in there. It just came through my mind.
Just a little, what?
What
Fun
about
fact.
your Furby story?
Oh, yeah, get back to that.
I don't have any Furby story, but it kind of seems weird that I mean, when you're growing up in the 90s or whatever, everyone has a story about animatronics or a Furby or some sort of thing freaking out. Like today's day and age, you don't really come across that too much.
Dude, it's funny. We did have like a family Furby that my mom had, and it was like 3 months the batteries were taken out of that fucker. Not dealing with that. Because it had sensors, so you walk by it, it tries to interact with you.
Yeah.
Right. And there was
And
like,
it'd start fucking like, what did it do? It had a beak and then eyes. that
Eyes would blink.
right.
blink.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did they move too?
I don't think so. I think it was just their eyes.
I think it just looked around.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's
Did
been
some of
so
them light
long.
up?
Looked like a
know.
goddamn Chuck E. Cheese fucking thing.
Animatronic.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's like I remember hearing of one, maybe in like the early 2000s, maybe. Like
Yeah.
Maybe 2005, something like that. Anyways, a girl had a mirror and mass produced, right? And she was on the news because she said she took it apart.
I think the mirror fell off.
Yeah, the mirror fell off. Anyways, this mirror started telling her to do things and things like satanic things and whether it's like worshiping Satan and things like that or killing her parents or things like that, like really dark things that were coming through on this mirror.
No, the mirror was still on it when it started saying this thing.
Yeah,
and this is why she took it apart.
Right. She took the mirror off and behind, this is like, you get this in Toys R Us at the time.
Right.
And behind.
I've probably seen it. It's probably one of those like pink plastic.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, my cousins had one like
Yeah,
that.
and right behind the mirror was like an image. Was it like a pentagram or what was it behind
It was like a demonic looking chick.
Was it really?
Yeah, and I can't remember if she was like cutting her wrist or something.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
okay. I heard about this. It was a mirror that like people got at the dollar store.
Yeah.
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 That's ringing a bell now.
Yeah.
But that's like all you hear about it now. Like now you don't really hear too much stories like about that. So what do you think that is? Like what do you think that we're hearing?
Well, I think it wasn't like a mirror from like Snow White. It was supposed to like talk to you.
Something like that.
And
yeah.
then instead it was saying fucked up shit
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of like you're the prettiest girl in the
Yeah.
land or some shit. I read a thing about that not too long ago on Facebook. Yeah, it blew my mind.
I remember watching the video on it.
Yeah, I remember
seeing it on the news. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remember this mom, and they still had the mirror going in the girl's bedroom and reenacting like what happened. Freaking weird. Oh, on other news, freaking Ed McMahon. I just heard this theory today.
The Mandela effect.
The Mandela
Oh
effect.
yeah. I think
Right.
I said that to you, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Freaking freaked me out because I was like, I remember that.
The Publishers Clearinghouse shit.
Yeah.
Where he shows up to your door with a big ass check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember clearly mom and them always getting mail like that.
Yeah.
And
Dude, we still get them.
do you really?
Yeah, we get Publishers Clearing
But it
shit because of grandma.
doesn't have Ed McMahon or anything.
It doesn't have Ed
referenced.
McMahon on it no more. But I remember the commercials in the 90s with Ed McMahon
When
on there.
he'd walk up to the house,
the
and
house
they'd
with the
start
check.
freaking out.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. Now
I
they're saying
remember it too.
nobody can find those videos anymore.
Right. And this is like a big old thing on TikTok right now is Ed
Yeah.
McMahon, Publishers, Clearinghouse, and how we were all remembering it wrong and that it didn't happen. He never worked for the company.
Then why do they always basically correlate him with Publishers Clearinghouse?
I have no idea. That's weird, huh?
Yeah, it is. I don't get it.
Well, did you see the video part of that where it shows which one? Betty White from the Golden Girls talking about Ed McMahon
Yeah.
and Publishers Clearinghouse?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
I think fucking people just like to fuck with like America's people. You know what I
I
mean?
think
and
so
just,
too.
and just go through and take all those videos down from everywhere, all the
I
sources.
feel like a bunch of the stuff's off my head. Now we're gonna burst through a bunch of topics, not even paranormal.
Right. Like, remember Shazam?
Yeah.
Well, technically, it is still paranormal,
Right.
I mean, Mandela effect, it is. But they did kick back on the Hadron Collider.
Okay, so you just totally right into my
Your
my
train of
thinking.
thought.
Yeah, train of thought is the Hadron Collider is
Merging fucking dimensions.
right. So they have this conspiracy about the Large Hadron Collider. There is people who visited the Large Hadron Collider and said they have
CERN?
Yeah, CERN, and they have this is the world's biggest science experiment, and it's like 11 miles in diameter, something like that. Just one big tube. And what they do is they crash particles into each other, and they try to have
Well, they
findings.
tried to crash particles against each other, and it finally happened in 2012,
Right.
which I feel like birthed the Mandela effect.
Right, and that's
if
what they.
that is what
Is that
really happened.
where they discovered the God particle? Was it there?
I believe so.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, now, like people are visiting this. There was somebody who visited there, and he said it's kind of strange when you go in there because they have these tapestries and
Statues.
and things like that. I've never seen the statues yet.
I have. Like, I think it's like outside.
Right, and they have this tapestries there, but they're in through all the languages on Earth, and all they say on there is hello. And they're like on the wall, or if they're lined up, I don't remember how it was. I heard it.
That's strange.
And it's like So now we have these conspiracies saying that this is birthing the Mandela effect, and we're kind of morphing into other realities and different, what do you call that? Dimensions?
Yeah.
And that's what's causing the Mandela effect, which I think everyone knows on the conspiracy podcast. But now they have this Tesla announced that they have. This is kind of funny because we're at the last podcast, so this is gonna be out later after the podcast we did last week. But we were talking about why is the government, disclosing UFOs?
Yeah.
To distract us against something.
Right. And we had a thing on the podcast because there was a congressman talking about when are we going to start censoring people doing misinformation? Like, when are we going to start censoring people saying certain things and holding them accountable? So, like, when you start a podcast now, I think you got to say, like, these are just conspiracies. They're not fact.
They're just theories.
Right.
You say the word conspiracy.
Right.
They don't like that.
Right. So,
The bad thing is, though, with the whole conspiracy thing, how many things were conspiracy that aren't conspiracy anymore?
Right,
That
like
turned
the
out to be true.
like the UFO, like the biggest one of all. But this is my point on this is one of the congressmen asked what are they, if it is like another government, if it is the U.S. government or China or Russia, if they are flying over different airspaces and we can't see their propulsion systems, how is that possible? And one of the leads there said, well, maybe they had some way of concealing their propulsion systems, which is virtually impossible. And right now, like you can see that on like
with
IR.
our technology,
right? But Elon Musk just came in the news, and he's working on a propulsion system that now is said to be, in theory, that would work. It's like a mini hadron collider inside of every jet.
in theory,
Right. And what they're going to do is they collide particles inside of the jet.
and it
Right. It bursts
It
them.
gives push.
Right. And you got to put this.
I just heard that today.
Yeah.
Was that the same thing when he was talking about how to achieve like faster than light travel?
I think so, yeah.
That
It's like 95% speed of
95%
light.
to
the
warp
speed of light.
space instead of going actually fast.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's basically like
I've
a
seen
mini hadron collider inside
That's
of
going to
every.
actually propel this thing.
Right. So now that you have the U.S. disclosing this in an odd time that Elon Musk is starting to work on propulsion systems that could possibly have no, I guess, discernible means of propulsion.
If anybody's to do it, I think it would be him.
Right.
It would be Elon Musk. So if Elon Musk hasn't done it yet, then what the fuck is flying around?
Right. Right.
Dude, I was watching a thing too today about the Phoenix lights
Uh-huh.
and saying that they think instead of aliens, it was the government. And the reason they didn't try to shoot it out of airspace is because they're trying to see what the public would react to.
That makes sense.
And that, oh yeah, with the Phoenix lights.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just that they're thinking the government actually like staged that somehow to just catch the people's reaction.
Right.
You think that's what they're doing now?
And then kind of labeled it as UFOs.
Right.
But in realistic, if there was a UFO, the Air Force Base would be scrambling to see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. Did I send you that video of this guy talking? I can't remember who he was talking to. It was like something on the news, but he was talking about that they literally would shoot at them.
Yeah.
They would try to shoot them down.
Jeremy Corbell.
Is that what it was? Yeah, they'd literally try to shoot them down. These UFOs. They said they'd shoot at them literally on a weekly basis. So they're seeing these things on a weekly basis.
And
They
daily.
just gave up to conserve ammo.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Corbell is like one of the leading in the world for UFOs, and he's saying that this is fact, that they're actually shooting at UFOs.
Yeah. And he was asking, well, did they ever shoot back? And he said, I can't answer that.
So this is my thought on it was so one of the congressmen, like I said, asked if they were trying to conceal their propulsion system. Maybe they had a technology. Now we have Elon Musk talking about a possibly undiscernible propulsion system. Now we have the U.S. coming out and disclosing UFOs, and now we have a congressman saying we got to censor people from misinformation. And or if the U.S. is testing certain things, I think this will be a thing of recording it, putting it out there and saying that's misinformation.
Misinformation, they could literally censor anything.
Right.
Literally, it's like, what, freedom of speech.
Right. That's why we have a First Amendment. We
Right.
can't do that. There's supposed to be no censorship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's where they're gonna start pushing is this censoring misinformation about UFOs, because they're probably gonna play at it at like a national security thing of where you're putting out, they're freaking people out or something, or you're saying things that can get you in trouble or get, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you see that one that was like above the clouds? And it looked like a freaking, almost like a headlight or a spotlight.
Oh, yeah. I did see that.
Did you see that?
You sent me that.
Yeah, I did. I sent you that.
It
didn't see that
almost
one.
looked like a tentacle of light
Yeah.
whipping around. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was just weird. Like, you're starting to see all these weird things now. Like, I don't know if they're all real. I mean, of course, some people fake them, but it seems like pretty easy to kind of see which ones are fake and which ones aren't.
That's the bad thing. We have such good technology with freaking like Photoshop nowadays. Like look at Star Wars, for example.
Yeah.
When they had Luke come in and he looked just like young Luke
Yeah.
and young Leia, fucking, it looked like the real shit.
Could be Jasper.
That didn't sound like Jasper.
It didn't sound like it, but it could be Jasper.
That was like a weird screak.
Yeah, it's weird. It could be
It's Al
Jasper.
up there. He stubbed his toe.
Yeah, he probably did.
That one earlier was weird. Freaking, I think it was a dog. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying it is.
That dog did start barking later on.
Yeah, it did.
So,
We had this weird thing happen with our dog. It was, I think we were up cleaning one time, and we're up to like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and we were getting ready to go to bed, and we took Peanut outside to use the bathroom. Dark outside, right? And nobody on the street, and Alethea whistles to have Peanut come inside.
Oh,
we didn't have her whistle. She answers to a dog whistle or a whistle, and she whistles, and in the distance you hear her whistle way down there.
you're not supposed to whistle at night.
I know,
dude.
and
It's
this
one
is
of the laws.
Rule number one.
Rule
I know.
number one.
And that was the thing. It was like right at 3 o'clock. She was outside with the dog, and she whistles, and we hear a whistle, and it sounded like it was getting closer. And she's like, "Nope, nope!" And she gets Peanut inside, and I can hear this whistle, like really weird.
After I seen what happened at that house on Cody.
Oh, that
Dude,
was a
you guys,
weird one.
Do you guys remember, like, you guys lived here in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember there used to be a gang that roamed around town that used to whistle back and forth to each other
Yeah.
to see where they were?
Yeah.
Bunch of natives. Like,
Yeah.
you dumb motherfuckers. Don't you look up your history? Out here fucking whistling
at
fucking
night.
2 in the morning.
You might be whistling at somebody else or something else. Maybe
Yeah.
it was
Right?
your-
It isn't your homies whistling back, dude.
No, I remember that though. Like I remember like actually growing up in Crow and you'd hear that all the time.
Right.
And then people would get mad. You're not supposed to whistle at night.
Right. I remember being, my dad used to live in those apartments by Arrowhead,
Yeah.
those yellow ones. I remember, I don't know, we were up real late watching movies or something. And like we were outside just kind of like looking at the sky, you know, get some fresh air. There's people whistling all over the place. Had to have been like 1 in the morning.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to put those posters up for sale on fallenhour.com. So there is a we're going to call it Fallen Hour 3L poster. And man, this matches the vibe of the podcast, I guess. They just go
Noises
with it.
everywhere.
No.
You're going to hear a toilet flush anyway. You want to cut this out? Just pause it and cut it out.
Who's in the bathroom?
They caught it.
Okay.
All right.
We got to talk about
Like
now.
literally, this is like how our conversations go. Anybody that's listening, this is how it goes when the mics are off. Basically, isn't it?
Just random shit.
I know.
We
Just
should always wear mics around the house and just use all these cameras.
I know.
Just walk around the house talking.
Instead of the real life, the res life.
Oh, weren't we just talking about that? Freaking whistling at night.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep. The gangs whistling. Dumb.
Yeah.
I think we were pretty much wrapping that part up.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't whistle at night, folks. It's bad juju.
I mean,
The hell was I
I've
gonna
always
say?
heard that, but the one time that I actually seen something was when we were on that house in Cody, and Al whistled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was what you were talking about when they kept coming up like from tree to tree.
And
Yeah,
and
it was
behind the
like it was
building.
hiding behind things that you could not hide behind, like a freaking like a light pole,
Right.
and then something would peek out it looked like a shadow,
Yeah.
but like darker than dark.
And a refresher for all you guys listening: we all lived in the same house at different times.
Yeah.
Well, these two at the
Yeah.
same time, but
Yeah, and it was at that house.
I lived in the house first.
Yeah, but that was the only time I was like, oh, well, maybe that's why you're not supposed to whistle.
Yeah.
Calling something.
That same house, I had the weirdest experience. Me and Al were standing outside, and he was smoking a cigarette.
I remember this.
And it was like 11:55 or something like that. And we're standing outside for a few minutes, and I remember looking at the phone because I was going to tell Dolores, and it was midnight, Halloween, and it was the day of Halloween. And before I looked at my phone, there's a freaking whistle in my nose.
Yeah, I can hear
But
it.
anyway, he was out there smoking, and the only light on the street at the time was in the far corner,
Yeah.
by that big greenhouse, right?
You know, it's funny. Me and my buddies used to knock the top of the lens off those lights, so they would stay on all day. Then they would go out, and we could have better tag at night.
We were standing outside and we were just talking, and here we both, for some reason, looked into that corner, and the weirdest thing happened. This dude dressed in full clown costume, right? Big old shoes, like huge shoes, and a huge hat that was like huge. And he like jumps off the curb on a unicycle and just goes by real quick. And
At midnight,
Al looks at me. He's like, "Did I just see that? Did I just see that?" I was like, "What the hell was that about?" I had to call Dolores, and I went to get my phone. It was midnight
because she's terrified of
yeah,
clowns.
and she's terrified of it. It was freaking weird as hell. And we jumped in the car, and because we wanted to go find this guy. See, we actually saw a clown with massive shoes and a huge hat on a unicycle. And we took off down that road, not even a couple minutes after him, and couldn't find him.
That's so, especially in Hardin of all places.
Yeah.
Just disappeared.
Whoever
Pennywise,
that
fucking
guy
clown.
was.
I know, who's probably leading you guys somewhere.
Oh, gross.
Stop and you hear whistling and a laugh.
Pennywise's cousin, Buffalo Nickel.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's one of the weirdest things that ever happened. But I think in the future, I do want to cover societies, secret societies. And especially, which one did Alex Jones infiltrate? Remember that?
The one with the owls. I can't remember what it was.
The owls.
It's the one with all the celebrities that go to this island.
Talking about not that Grove, is it?
It is, yep.
It is?
Yep.
Yeah, don't they worship an owl, or is that a different one?
It's
I
like
think it is. It is
I
because,
don't know if they worship an owl, but there's like a ginormous owl like statue.
yeah. And he infiltrated that and brought a camera with him and his buddy or something like that.
Yeah, I remember.
And they got in.
filmed it.
And they filmed it. A bunch of these stars there, and they're simulating
Like a sacrifice.
A sacrifice, yeah.
They were saying like they don't know if it was a real sacrifice or if it was like a dummy.
Right. Yeah.
Because it was like wrapped up, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's
And
like
wasn't there like a scream?
yes,
when they toss it in there?
It was a weird thing, and I think I want to look into those in the future. Hopefully, we're okay to do that.
About to get sacrificed to an owl.
Right. Freaking weird. But what do you believe? I mean, we always change our mind on certain things.
Yeah.
We're going to jump totally off of that subject. I just want to mention that we want to do that in the future. But everyone's always talking about the paranormal, whether that's residual, intelligent, or I guess those two, or poltergeist, things of that nature.
I think it's a mixture of all.
Right.
I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's actually like different things in different places.
Right, because I have a hard time. Because when I study, I know what I believe, right?
Yeah.
And I know that people have bias towards it and things of that nature. And but when I watch a show with whether that's people talking about demonology and things, a lot of things I learn too are that correlate with those things. But when they talk about a spirit or they talk about a demon, and they divide those two, saying that these are two separate things.
Yeah.
And then you have these occurrences happen, and whether that's them getting their evidence, and based on a certain action or a certain way the spirit is connecting with them, they place it in a category.
Okay, so
Like-
just by the way it acts, they
Right.
categorize it.
Right. But then you also hear about ghosts or demons or whatever I guess, mocking children. And then so they interact with a girl or something, and they categorize that as immediately just a intelligent being or a ghost.
My take on like residual hauntings is like dimension crossing, or like
Right, and that's one of the ones I'm fond with is the dimensions.
like maybe like the stuff happening over and over playback is us like kind of getting too close to another dimension or like another reality,
Right,
and we're just seeing them, and they might be seeing us as ghosts too.
right.
I like the theory of that. But the intelligent ones, I think a lot of those can come from fucking just the energy that's here from people dying and stuff.
So you feel like it's more of a dimensional thing rather than time?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's like, when it comes to like the residual hauntings, that it's always, whenever you get those hauntings like that, it's always people from way back in the day.
Yeah.
Why aren't we getting somebody from the fucking 80s, with a mullet?
Yeah.
Right.
Working on his Camaro all day. You're like, oh, this fucking Camaro's weird.
That is a good
fucking
point.
Fred with the mullet over here.
Yeah.
It's always somebody like from the 1800s.
Well, I mean, I remember telling you a story once where a guy was, or a kid was in his kitchen. Remember that? Or he walked into the kitchen and he saw a guy standing in the kitchen at the counter.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he turned and he looked at him, and then the little kid ran off.
Yeah.
And he said that guy kind of faded out. And then later on, like when he was older, he said he was in the kitchen making a freaking sandwich, and he heard a noise, and he turned and looked, and he saw himself younger look at him and turn around and run away.
Okay, dude, I've said a story on the podcast just like that.
Yeah.
About like a haunted story in the Native American folklore or whatever.
Oh, that's
about
right.
Some kids going and checking out this place that is supposedly haunted, and seeing a guy chasing them down on a horse and throws a tomahawk. But back in like their legend, there was a warrior that saw a beast with two big glowing eyes try to chase him down, and he chased that truck down and threw a tomahawk at it.
Yeah, he stuck it in the face, he said.
Yeah.
But didn't that tomahawk get stuck in the grill or something?
In the grill of the truck, yeah.
Right.
And it was like a story, and like the same people colliding with each other in different time periods.
Yeah, so I always find that stuff really strange, because I've been hearing a lot of stories like that. Even I just saw one on TikTok. This woman said that she was like, having like suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. And she was thinking about, committing suicide. And she said she was laying in her bed, crying. And then she said she felt arms wrap around her and comfort her. And she said she felt really comforted. And she decided not to go through with it. Now, later on down the line, when she was an adult, she went to like a hypnotherapist or something and basically put her mind into a place that she tried to forget. And she remembers walking through this house and seeing herself laying on a bed when she was younger, crying. And she said she went up and gave herself a hug and tried to comfort herself and telling her not to do it and everything's going to be okay. And it wasn't until like a week later she thought back, maybe the person that wrapped her arms around her was her future self.
Right.
Trying to stop her from doing it.
Right.
So I always think about stuff like that. So that's basically like almost like her, not her mind, but like her spirit kind of going through and doing that.
Right. It's I think it's more plausible now, especially with, we mentioned CERN, Large Hadron Collider, and of them acknowledging that they're different dimensions.
Yeah.
I think now it's more plausible to say that when we see residual energy, that it could be just a different dimension, or maybe there's some sort of time loop and things of that nature. And I think that's what most people are experiencing out there, is a different dimension when they're seeing the spirit.
How long have they been trying to use this?
They've been at it for
machine?
years. I remember the Big Bang covered it in, I think, one of their early episodes. So that's a long time ago, a while back.
Because it seems like it's more like it's happening a lot more often. So do you think that's why?
Where is this collider at? Is it in like Germany or like Austria or something?
Somewhere
like that?
across the country.
Switzerland maybe?
Yeah. Some sort of weird
Can't
place.
remember.
That's it's weird. How big is that thing? It's like
11 miles.
11 miles
Around.
around. Yeah. That thing is massive, man.
Yeah.
And they have tiny particles flying through there.
Yeah, and I mean, you see the inside of this thing. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's massive. So these really tiny, literally particles, they're shooting them around opposite sides and hoping that they would collide.
Right.
Dude, you gotta have like perfect aim to
How would they get a particle
like
in
that.
there? It's freaking
How do
weird.
they do it? You know?
Well,
Yeah.
I guess they could do it now all the time instead of just guessing like they
Yeah,
did
like they
before.
got it down now.
Yeah. That stuff's weird.
Yeah, no. Like I remember even seeing a video, like somebody like basically snuck a phone in to this place, and they seen people outside, and it was like some kind of like ritual ceremony going on
In CERN?
at CERN, and they literally like sacrificed this lady, and people were saying like, oh, you know, it was fake and all that and whatever, but if you watch the video, it doesn't look fake. Because they stabbed this woman in the back, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they stab her and pull the knife out, you could see the knife get stuck on her dress, and it pulled the dress, and then the knife comes out.
Wow.
So it didn't look fake at all.
Right. So if it was like one of those retractable ones, it wouldn't have that
No,
problem.
it would not do that. It would not get caught on there. You could literally see it pull, and then pull her dress out, and then
Interesting.
it come off the dress like it stuck to it.
Wow. I never heard that one before.
You've
Never
never
saw
seen
video.
that?
No.
I'll have to find that video and show you, but it supposedly happened there. And there is like, I think like a big weird statue outside somewhere.
Right.
And I don't think you're like allowed to have phones and stuff there,
Wait, that's weird.
like cameras.
Yeah.
And somebody snuck one in and filmed it.
At CERN,
Yeah.
I thought they're pretty open about cameras and shit there now.
Well, I think like authorized
Oh,
personnel.
it's like because I've seen like documentaries and
Yeah.
like stuff on
Right.
the internet.
Like, I mean,
people
I
there.
bet you they probably have like, you know, documentaries and cameramen and cameras there. But during times like that, I don't think they're allowed to.
I wonder why they'd be doing that though.
I
Like, why
know.
would you be doing that?
I mean, what they're dealing with like different dimensions and stuff like that. Like maybe they're
Get back
into some
into
like
your old dimension. you fucking-
right.
like maybe they're into some dark stuff. Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Right.
Going into hell.
You
Right.
never know, I guess.
Like some Event Horizon shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, that movie scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Still one of my favorite movies.
I mean, there's even stories of like, I think Buzz Aldrin and
Back to
Armstrong.
Good old Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah. It's funny, like Armstrong's name used to be stuck in my head, and that's who I'd use to like
Who's the third guy?
Collins? Is it Collins?
I think so. He was the one in the
Yeah,
Orbiting,
he was
right?
orbiting the moon.
Right.
It's funny that nobody ever remembers that guy's name.
Were you just quizzing Marcus?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm pretty sure it was Collins.
That's so
And he
funny.
was the one orbiting the moon, and he said it was like 45 minutes. He'd get to the dark side of the moon,
Yeah.
and it'd
come
take him
back.
like 45 minutes to come back around.
So strange.
Yeah. No, I looked into it.
Yeah, that was our last podcast. We had to look into it.
Yeah.
But I think it's I mean, when I was watching, I think I was watching
I didn't even tell my story.
I'll go ahead.
But there was like stories that they actually did like a ritual thing on the moon.
Well, speaking of
Oh.
rituals, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they said they're like in like some society, I'll say.
Right.
And they did like that's why they wanted to go there. They went up there to do this like ritual. And
Are these scientists? Are they officials? Are they famous people? Are they
that told us supposedly it came from them themselves.
like who's performing these rituals?
Lance Armstrong. No, that's
Neil
Neil Armstrong.
Armstrong.
Neil deGrasse
Yeah,
Tyson.
Lance Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong on the moon.
Oh, we're gonna fail. Anyway, no, it was Neil Armstrong and
What? And
Buzz Aldrin.
Lance on. Say it again.
did I? Dude, I'm all jacked up over here, man.
Were they up there to try to find the like obelisk or whatever from Space Odyssey?
I don't know what they were doing, but they were trying to get up there at a certain time,
Right.
and do this ritual up there at a certain time for a certain reason.
A certain time, huh?
Yeah,
That'd be
weird.
crazy if we actually went to the moon, though.
Neil
I don't know if
deGrasse
that happened.
Neil
Can you-
deGrasse Tyson.
Can you
believe
imagine
that?
Mentioning Neil
That's
deGrasse Tyson,
weird.
he had this. It's not paranormal, but he had this like. I had a total brain fart on this. Anyways,
I'm just kidding. We went to the moon. I don't deny that.
he talks about how like the two poles, right? They have lines across them, like on the globe. is how we separate time.
Yeah.
And some of those are altered to do with like states and things like that.
Yeah.
So all these are different time zones. What's the time on
the poles?
On the poles, yeah.
Yeah.
0.
I thought about that.
Dude,
Not related
what
at
the
all.
hell was it? I watched a video of like the sunrise, like the fastest sunrise and sunset at the poles. It was like
was
real
it,
fast. It was like I can't remember what the time
You
was.
couldn't.
It was like 15 minutes for the sun to come up and down.
You couldn't
Dang, that is
see
fast.
Wheezy's hand moving, but it's just we'll put a there.
Add a swoosh.
Yeah.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
No, but I was watching. I mean, I watch all these paranormal shows all the time. I'm always reading on demonology and things like that, or reading the Bible and things for scriptures and trying to like find leads and things. And I got to thinking about like we grew up and we had all these different experiences. But we look back on them, they're like almost not real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've seen demon possessions, we've seen exorcisms, things of that nature.
Yeah.
People doing weird things and speaking different voices, tongues not moving, things of that nature.
The smell of sulfur.
Right. And I remember seeing a girl scream, and a table moved, and she didn't touch it. And things like that. Like, you don't really...
There was even one in a van, and this van was an older van, and it did not have any electric doors or anything, or electric locks. And we're on our way to church, and the locks started going up and down because this girl that was in there was possessed.
Right.
And she started kind of freaking out, and the doors started going, all the locks started going nuts in that van.
There was a book.
Wild card.
Now, this is before I mention this book, I want to mention Mom had a story about a relative of ours, and we all know who she is. But they said she had to have had like a possession or something like that. But anyways, she was sent off to a psych ward. She came back. She got her psych card saying she's sane, and she was open about it. She would tell you, "I got my card, I'm sane," and you can ask her. She carries that on her all the time. I think she's since passed away, but she said, my mom said all the time, and this is the time like Mom and them have the memory now. Like they're old enough to remember things like this and go to friends' houses and things. And at the time, this woman was troubled, and this is a close relative of theirs, and she had a thing of where she could turn on lights and a lamp without even being near it across the room. And they would tell her to do it. They would say, turn that lamp on, and or pick like a random thing. And
She would clap. No, I'm just kidding.
right. But the lamp would turn on, things of that nature. There's a bunch of weird stories that Mom had about her. But she went to psych and came out, was sane, and then she was totally normal. I think they did some sort of, like, they prayed for her and things of nature. But there was a book, and this is a book that is...
I remember.
This is a book that is highly controversial, or at least it was back in, like, the early 2000s.
Yeah, I remember this.
And it's called He Came to Set the Captives Free. And I remember people...
There's a warning in the beginning of that book.
Right, saying while you read this book, you're going to be interrupted and things of nature. And
something will try to stop you from reading it.
right. And we had a family friend, and she's a world-renowned author and New York Times bestseller. Her name is Mary Kay Baxter. She passed away this past year.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have like books and signed copies and things of that nature. And she would always tell us stories, and she would put those in her books later on. It'd be kind of cool to go back and read those and say, hey, we heard this story growing up. But she spent 2 weeks with us at one point. I think this was when our grandfather passed away. And this is a time where this book was raging. Like, people were buying this book, Christians were buying this book and things of that nature. This woman that we spent time with, Mary Kay Baxter, she was a different one. Like, you would be around her, she was constantly in prayer. I remember picking her up at the airport, and we took her to, I think it was Lodgepole or something, like way far. And constantly, from the moment she got in the car, just instant prayer, not even saying hello to us or anything. And got her in the car, and then she would like break and like talk to us for a second, and then go right back into prayer, like constantly. That's how she was. And she would tell us things she's seeing, like I see fire and things of that nature, and then it'd be like certain things that happened later on in the day or something that would something would pop up, and it would be like confirmation of what she saw. But and you would go to her services, and people would find gold nuggets around and things of that nature. They'd find like gold flakes at their house and
Or
things of that nature.
shavings would just fall. Not
Right.
only that, it was like she called it angel dust, and what it was literally like the finest powder, and it was I've never seen anything sparkle like that, and it would literally like rain.
Right. And
Like that. It was weird, dude.
there was a time where we went to church with her, and we came home, and she hasn't been to the house, hasn't been near her house, and I remember her mom freaking out, like right away when she got out of the car.
I remember this.
And she said, "There's gold here," and I was like, "What?" And I remember I was little, got out of the car, and there was actually like dust all the way up into the door.
It would literally. It was like our entire walkway was shimmering. It looked like diamonds. And she said that happens everywhere angels walk. That's what she told us. And literally all the way up. I remember. I'll get to that part, but I remember being in that service, and I remember there was this lady that kind of sat in the middle of the rows, and she said that even people would find angel feathers.
Right.
Feathers would fall. Man, I remember feeling that, and it was like the softest thing ever.
Yeah.
And there was this lady that wanted a feather, and she had her hands out like the whole time, this during the whole service because she wanted to catch one. She said she was going to get one, and I remember her saying that there was like an angel dancing in front of her, like saying like kind of like playfully like a kid. She said they're like childlike, some of them are childlike, and she said it was like basically kind of teasing her, saying she's not going to get one. She was sitting there the whole time like that, and literally at the very end of the service, a feather fell
in her hand,
and right on her hand. And she caught it. And I remember she got up, like when she got up, literally it like sparkled all the way around her. And when she went like this, it was like just sparkly flying off of her. And I remember asking her about that after the service. And that's what she told me. She said, everywhere angels walk, there'd be this like shimmer. It was like this dust, but it was like literally sparkled like diamonds. And we get home, and literally all the way up our walkway, we had this long walkway going up to our door, and the whole thing was just shimmering up to our doorway. Now we opened the door, and inside our house, there was a trail that led to every single room like that. You flicked the lights on, everything was just shimmering constantly. And it was pretty crazy.
Right. She wrote a lot of books: The Divine Revelation of Hell, Divine Revelation of Heaven, and
the Divine Revelation of the Spirit Realm.
Right. A lot of books. Anyways, I'm painting a picture about who this woman was because this other book came out, and I think she knew the lady or something like that, and she said to be careful.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And she says because this woman, she did get saved. She was one of the 7 wives of Satan at one point.
Yeah.
And she had stories about this woman that wrote this other book, something Brown. Anyways, she had stories about meeting Satan, their first time, the wedding night, things of that nature. She got saved, and she had a story about him on the road outside of her house, and he couldn't come onto the lawn because she was saved, and she was prayed over the house and things of that nature. She said he was dressed in white, and he was on the road screaming at her and saying things about her and bringing up old things and her childhood and things like that.
Bringing up her old life.
Right. And I think they had intercourse too, and the bite marks and things of that nature, so that it was like really torturous to be with this person as she believed was Satan, or they believe was Satan. There is this if you guys don't know about this, there's this society about this, of where they believe they meet Satan. I believe this is actually true. And people meet around the world in they meet under the church's nose, under the community's nose, and meet up, and they'll converse or have services that are demonic. They'll meet in churches. Some of them, a lot of them have churches, well-profound churches. And one of the crazy things she mentioned in her book was that there's shapeshifters. And she said it goes by their ranking of what they shapeshift into, and they do this in their meeting places. Anyways, I remember talking to Mary Kay Baxter about this book, and she said to be careful about it and probably don't read it, and because she had a thing about misleading people, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And or that she feels that you'd be misled reading the books, because when you talk about demonology or you talk about demons or Satan and things of that nature, they say to be careful, or when you study about them, because you can fall into almost like a fascination, and it's really easy to do, apparently. And
Yeah, they'd be more fascinated with that rather than what you believe in.
right. And in this book, she would have a warning in the front, and it would say, while you're reading this book, you'll have interruptions, things of that nature, and things are going to happen. Then she'll have a prayer after that, and then get into the book and talking about all this stuff that she encountered. So back to this book. I had a friend, one of my best friends growing up. His name's Brent, and he had this. He wanted to try it because he was around Mary Kay Baxter too, and he would go to church too. And he was the rebellious type, so he'd want to like do stuff that you're not supposed to do, and it got him intrigued in the book. And it's not that book. I don't think it was like a bad thing, but she was saved, and I think when she wrote that, and but he was like, I want to see what this book's about, and see if it actually disruptions and things of the nature. And we didn't know about the warning in the beginning until we actually saw the book, and we saw it a couple times, and people bring it over and things of that nature. And he gets the book, he goes home, this is like high school, I think, and something like that, middle school. Anyway, sometime. And he's like, I'm going to read this book. And I knew his grandpa, I knew his grandma, they never bothered him. Like if he goes to his room, they never bother him. And he goes to his room, sits down, and he reads the warning. And then he's like, okay. So then he reads the prayer and everything. Goes to the first page, starts reading. His grandpa comes to the door, starts knocking. He's like, okay, so it's just my grandpa. It's like coincidence. Someone's there, takes him outside for like a good 15, 20 minutes, comes back inside and sits back down again, tries to read the book, and knock again on the door. And it's his grandpa again saying someone else is there for him. He's like, okay, cool. He's not putting it together yet that this is what they're talking about in the book. And then as soon as he realizes that maybe it's a coincidence or maybe there's some sort of coincidence, things of that nature, he sits back down finally, and he tells his grandpa to leave him alone and let me read the book or read in here or whatever. And they say, okay, we'll leave you alone and we'll tell you when dinner's ready. I remember that being like one big part of his story. And he said, okay. And he goes to his room, sits down to read the book, gets the book open, his power shuts off in the house. Not only that, but that whole street just went out. Just on that side of the street. It's a weird thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually have a cousin that this is where I first heard about it. Is he had this book, and I didn't realize it until he told me afterwards. I was a distraction during this time because he was trying to read it, and this was at nighttime. I stayed at his place. We'd work on music and stuff like that, and he kind of stopped. He started laughing, and he told me, and he explained it to me and everything, and told me about this book, and then he just said, I'm just trying to like read some of it, and he just said, whatever you do, try not to distract me, so I was like, whatever, I went and laid on the couch, and I was like messing with stuff. I had my headphones on and all that, and it was like constant distractions. And he even told me, he's like people would knock on his door right when he starts reading the first line.
Wow.
knock on his door, and then he said there was even times where there'd be a knock on his window or on his door in the middle of the night. He'd go outside and there's absolutely nobody there.
Wow.
He said stuff like that would happen. Now, I remember this one time, our cousin that lives in Washington, we were talking about this book, and we brought it up. It's funny that you say that because I was trying to tell her about it. She's like, well, what's the name of this book? And I was like, oh, it's called, before I could even tell her, The Phone Die. I was like, what the hell? I thought I just charged this thing. I put it back on the charger, grabbed the other one, and I started talking to her, and same thing. The phone died every time I get to the name of the book.
I think I remember you telling me this.
And I was taking out the garbage, and I grabbed my third phone, and I was walking outside. I get to the bottom of this walkway, and I throw the garbage in the can, and I turn around. I was like, anyway, the book's called The Power in Olive Crow. Shut off. And there was no storm. The skies were clear. I just remember complete darkness. I was standing outside at midnight, complete darkness, and just that thought just made the hairs on my neck stand up. I started looking around like, what the hell's going on?
I've only ever seen that happen one time when I was outside, and the sound is weird when the power shuts off, like Olive Crow. And it was snowed out. Everyone was trapped inside, and there was like no tire marks anywhere. And I stood outside, and I can hear the power shut off, and you can just hear it, boom. It's like, oh, that's freaking weird.
That electric hum that you don't notice because you're so used to it.
Yeah.
I remember It wasn't even that long ago. I was at work. I think it was when I worked at Senex. We had the power go out, and it went out just on this half of town, and you could hear that.
That weird. Yeah, it's weird.
I'm like, what the fuck?
It's loud when you hear it, but it's like, does that actually happen all the time? Is that like a frequency we don't recognize or something?
I bet it is. We're just so used to it. Doesn't matter.
But I had a question.
Right. Before we get to that, I want to mention that I did read that book, and I went through it, and that's how I found out that there was a society, 7 Brides of Satan, and this is a real thing. And they'll have a ceremony for you. They flew her out to like somewhere like Barcelona or something, and then she said this guy gets out of the car, and there's a bunch of people there, and they know who he is, and this is Satan. And she said he was the most beautiful man she's ever seen. And which is,
of course, in Spain, huh?
Right? And
that's where my family's from.
Right.
Beautiful.
And this is one of the things though about Satan is that's one of the things that people describe about him when they see him.
Yeah.
And he was one of the highest angels in heaven at the time when he was in heaven, and he was called Lucifer.
Yeah.
And anyway, she said that he was like radiating, and so they had that happen. There was another thing I watched on TV about this cult, I guess I'll call it. And this woman says she's a minister, and she said they're bringing a lady, and she's one of the brides of Satan, and she wants to be done with it because she's being like tortured bad, and she's like really bad shape. And she says okay. So she goes to this hotel, and she says she can tell when she's like 10 blocks away, New York. She can feel that. She said it was like really heavy and dark, things of that nature. And 10 blocks away, New York blocks that are known to be big.
Their city blocks are huge.
Right. And she said she came to the hotel, and you can just feel it getting more and more radiating. And she said she remembers meeting her because she comes up to, it was a suite. They get her inside, and the minister's in one of the back rooms, and they had ministers back there going to pray for her. And she said this woman comes to the door, and she can just hear her coming, and the door just blows open. She didn't touch anything. And then the minister's like, you're not going to try that here. And she started doing that kind of things around the room. But yeah, I read that book.
Right.
Yeah, it's
You
crazy,
didn't get
man.
the Force?
No.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Because it is an actual Christian book, and they talk about Christian topics. The only thing wrong with it that people could say could mislead people is they have chants in there, real chants that were in
They probably shouldn't be repeating out
right,
loud.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
satanic rituals. They have spells and things of the nature. Just things that she as an author is going deep in. Basically, like what we do with the podcast. We go and we try to find the dark things and bring those out, whether that's like Native American culture and things of nature, things that people don't hear.
Yeah.
And that's what she was basically trying to do in the book. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, but I had a question, and it's funny that you bring up Mary Kay Baxter because that's what it had to do with. Is we were talking about paranormal, or we're going to do a paranormal podcast and stuff like that, and I came across the video of like something cryptid. And that made me kind of think, because now when talking to Mary Kay Baxter, she described hell.
Right.
And the way she described hell was just, insane. And she said that there was this one story she told me. She said there was these pits. Now they're about 6 foot deep and I think about 6 foot wide. And she said that there'd literally be fire would come up out of them, and there'd be people in there burning.
Right.
And she said these people would be, basically that's what they'd have to deal with forever. Mm-hmm. And some of them would try to climb out and escape.
She said she would see also ministers down there.
Yeah.
And they'd be down there preaching and trying to like repent and things and pray and whatnot.
Yeah.
Crazy things she saw.
Yeah, basically trying to make their way out.
Right.
By trying to basically speak the word and stuff like that. And
right.
Hopefully that
all the altar boy abusers in there.
Yeah, hopefully
right.
God will take them.
Right.
Now, she described this place, and one of the things that really stuck out to me that she told me was when these people would try to escape these pits, she said that up on the wall there was like a demon. And the way she described this demon, is it looked like almost looked like a bear. She said it looked like just this big beast that looked like a bear. And this thing would literally jump off the wall and it would swoop down and it wouldn't touch the ground. It would come down. It would literally hit them back into their pit and fly up to the other side and land on the other wall.
Wow.
So this thing is a demon,
Right.
but it's physical. It's not disembodied.
Right.
Now, do you think that some of these things that people are seeing could be something like that?
Well, I don't know if it's physical, because she mentioned also a story about seeing a woman walking down the street and she was depressed, and they call it a way to put it. She's not looking at it through a natural, I guess, scope. When they call it discernment.
Oh, I was gonna say like astral projecting.
Right. But when she sees something or sees someone like that, God would talk to her or show her things. And she's seen this woman. She just saw a woman walking. She said she knew she was depressed. And then God was able to show her the demon that was attached to her. When she switched to physical to spiritual, then she saw the demon on her. And it was, she said it was a small thing and it was on her shoulders. This woman's shoulders, and it kind of had like its legs wrapped around her chest, and
Basically
it was
clinging to her.
Right, and it was clinging to her, and it was rubbing her like it was like she was its baby, and like trying to. It looked like it was comforting, but it wasn't. It was a tormenting spirit.
Right, I've heard like folklore stories with demons like that
Right.
attach themselves to the backs of people.
Yeah.
And I can't recall where from, but there's definitely folklore from a country like that.
Yeah.
Where there's demons that cling to the back of you and weigh you down.
Yeah.
Right. So what was your question about it?
I was just asking, like, do you think that could be something that people are seeing when they say, like, maybe like a dogman sighting or
right,
something
I
like
think
that?
so, because demons they're disembodied, but in the spiritual they're there.
Yeah.
Back in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, they said there were cities here. Then later on in Scripture, in Genesis, it describes a pretty dominant race, and they said they were like satyrs. They were half man, half goat, and they had tails like a scorpion. And they also had like breastplates and things of that nature. They were like warriors and things, and they became disembodied. And I guess in that realm they would be disembodied. But she also brought up this is a thing that nobody really talks about, but it's summoning a demon. And when you summon a demon, it's possible that it can manifest. And she told a story once. I think it was one of her books, and I was reading it. And there was I think it was a documented case in Haiti, and these people were freaked out. And this is like maybe the 90s, 80s. These Haitians summoned a demon, an ancient demon that they all knew. They named it and everything. They had history on it, and it was like ancient to their culture. They summoned it. When it came out, it turned out to be a huge snake, and the snake was loose on Earth for I think like 11 days, something like that, and it terrorized all their villages, and it was eating people and things of that nature. It was like the real thing that happened there, and they have like I think it was like a documentary on it, or something like that, some sort of weird like cryptid documentary or something, talking about paranormal happening or something. But she talks about how that could be possible. I have yet to get to that point to where I can say for myself, anyways, can you see a physical demon, like touch it, things of nature. But angels, on the other hand, can be physical, and fallen angels, I believe, also can be physical, and they fall into a demonic category.
Yeah.
And when you talk about beasts and things,
right, fallen angels though are considered different from demons, aren't they?
right?
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah,
they're
they're in
not
a different class.
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
why
demons.
I kind of brought that up when he was racking his brain over demons. You know,
Right.
like
And they think like the centaurs and the, all those things are the demons.
Right.
Like fallen angels kind of came down and then manipulated those beasts from the past to be demons.
Right.
kinda.
It's possible because
I think I heard that before.
because you have the story of Noah and how the human race was I guess, tainted through angelic blood.
Yep.
And they had giants and things of nature. And but when you're talking about, I mean, when Satan took all these angels, a third of heaven's angels, there had to have been living creatures in there. There had to have been seraphs and cherubims and things of nature. All these different, they're called beasts in the Bible. And they describe them as horrible appearance. In Hebrew, it means awesome. They mean they're something you can't fathom, right? And they're beasts. They call them beasts or living creatures and things of nature. They have the face of a bear, lion, an eagle. There's one of those. They look very strange. And I think when they fell, they could possibly take on different characteristic.
I remember on the way to Billings, she said that she saw like an archangel, and it would literally have like a face on each side.
Right.
And she described it like that. One face looked like this, the other looked like that. And she said it was wearing like, armor. And she said when it breathed, fire came out of its mouth.
That. Yeah. There was, because then all the angels have different classes or different ways that they were created for, whether that's like worship, revelation. There's angels that sit around the throne and they have revelation constantly, or worshiping and things of that nature. And we've described this numerous times on the podcast. Yeah. I don't think anybody's learned that part though, that they have different classes and different functionings. When we talk about like demons and things, it's like, how do you, because we didn't have that.
How do you describe it?
Right. We didn't have that on the podcast yet of, is it possible that it can manifest? I think we talked about it, but we couldn't really wrap our head around it.
Yeah, that's when I said it maybe it's a fallen angel.
Right.
Now, I always come back to that because it creeps me the hell out, and he hates it. But every time I always get that image pop in my head.
You're gonna pop that stupid
that guy that said that something kept getting into his house. I think like in his sunroom or something, and into his kitchen, and he finally caught it on camera. He set up his iPad, and you can see this thing coming toward his house, and it comes into the light.
Yeah.
And this thing just looks grotesque.
It's called the Bigfoot Gray Entity.
Bigfoot Gray Entity is what it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. And this thing literally crawls up and it's looking around, and it just looks creepy. Like if you ever see like like on Reddit and stuff like that, they call them a rake.
Yeah. I think I've seen the video.
This thing looks like what that is. And what really made me think this thing was demonic or a fallen angel is when his pastor, he's talking to his pastor on the phone, and he says, I got it. He's recording it and everything, and he's talking about it, and this thing is back. It came back. You could hear it in his voice, man. This guy sounds terrified. His pastor starts praying because this thing tries to come closer to his house. And when his pastor starts praying, this thing reacts. And the way it reacts, it's the creepiest thing. It starts flinching and twitching, and it starts crawling backwards into the dark, and it gets up, and you could see it move away.
Yeah.
Like it stands up and it starts moving away.
There was a, now I'm thinking back on it.
I watched that video.
Dude, video creeps me out, man.
There was a biblical story, and I'm hopefully remember it right. I'm not going to try to get too detailed on it because I haven't read it in a long time, but it talks about a community basically, and there was a hill there, and they described this character or something on the hill, and it was I think he was molesting people, something like that, and they described it, I think. But that was like something they described, and also like
the Hollywood Hill.
I don't know.
Beverly Hills.
But it's like if there's descriptions like that, it just I don't know. It's like a really hard subject, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. It is. It's weird, like to get into and like try to wrap your head around it. Man, I don't know, man. I got that image of that thing in my head, man. It's just
you know what? Every
there.
time that he pops that stupid subject up, you know what I have to do? I have to go to YouTube by myself.
Download the video
while I'm editing, and I edit like this. There's nobody in here, right? In the dark, because I edit in the dark.
Put a flash picture of that on there.
No, it's a video. I got to freaking download the video.
Yeah. And so he's gonna put that on there for you guys.
We'll see if I get it.
Cry in the bathtub.
Yeah, I think I saved that on my hard drive somewhere.
No, there was even a girl when they moved into the the place known as Skinwalker Ranch. She had a story exactly like that. I think it was the daughter, She even caught it on her iPhone. Wow. And this thing literally moved exactly like that entity.
Oh, funny.
It moved like it.
I think I remember seeing this.
She described it.
Yeah.
She described it. It was pale like that. And she said this thing would flinch and move when it would move.
I remember seeing a video from Skinwalker Ranch, and it was on a documentary called Extraordinary. And it's this guy who gets bothered by UFO. Or he has this weird thing happening with him where he knows there's a UFO outside somehow. Or he'll get a feeling to go outside and look up or record. Or he makes music and it attracts aliens, things of nature, or UFOs that he thinks. And he'll go out to like the ocean side and play this music, and he would always catch a UFO, like 99 or 95% at least, every time he goes out. But he was on, I think he was like a podcast or something, or he was talking to some other expert, and he was on a Zoom call, and the camera's facing him. He's in the living room, the kitchen's behind him, there's a wall behind him, kind of in a distance. And this one freaked me out, because when I saw it, I was like, oh God, that's so ugly. But she says, you're not going to believe this, but there's a gray in your house. And then he kind of just freezes. And they show the footage. And before she says that, you see this little thing back there. And he's home alone at Skinwalker Ranch. And he was one of the owners. And you see this little thing in his kitchen, and it kind of just peeks its head out. And goes back really quick. And it keeps doing that to him. And she's noticing it. She said she noticed it before, but she wasn't sure. Maybe he had a kid there or something, or maybe he had children. And then she said she got a really good glimpse of it, and it was a gray.
That is disgusting.
I freaking hate those videos. There's also a video on YouTube where we watched this years ago, of where this guy lives out on a cornfield, of course, and he's getting chased around his house by what he thinks is an alien. He goes outside. He quiet night, no wind, nothing. And he notices there's movement out there, and his dogs are freaking out. He's home alone. He tries to go back inside and call somebody. I think it's like his mom or something. He has a camera. And I think something along the lines of like the door opens or something. And he freaks out. And
what was that?
You hear that whistle?
Yeah, I heard that. It was like a tune.
Yeah, it was like somebody whistling for their dog. Like,
yeah, it did sound like that.
So much weird stuff is happening.
Wow. That wasn't your nose, was it?
No.
Peanuts barking.
Peanuts barking. You know she heard that.
That's strange.
It was like so light.
Now it's all dark. You feel scared.
Wow.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, dude.
What the hell was it talking about now?
I don't know, man. You were getting into it.
Yeah, you were talking about the girl
Skinwalker
with
Ranch.
the gray at Skinwalker Ranch, and then you were going into something else.
I can't remember now. I don't remember. That's so weird.
Dude,
Just keep looking into the dark corner.
Creeped out, man.
This only happens every once in a while, where it's like
It's when we get into this kind of topic.
Right. It's always when he's here. It's always when nerds say it's us, it's you, Aaron. No, it's good.
Dude, did I tell you about those guys that were digging graves in Crow?
No.
It was like last month, I think. Somebody just told me this, and it was like, dude, that was like loud.
That was like a door opening.
There's nobody opened the door though. What the hell?
You don't think that could have been from upstairs, do you?
I don't know.
Well,
No, we
door
can
opening
never
up,
hear a door opening up there.
It's dead silent out here.
But in the headphones,
I know I could hear TV.
you can hear TV, but that was not the TV.
No, that was definitely over the top of the TV.
It's like loud. It was like loud, like distinctive.
Right. But anyway,
It's always when we get into these kind of stories, stuff starts happening.
there's some grave robbers in Crow.
No, dude.
Or they're
Last
just
night we
digging
were
graves.
recording with Miranda Young, and we start talking. This you see this
right.
scarf?
Yeah.
Literally, this thing starts. There's no fans on, no nothing. We're in the middle of talking, and this scarf starts flopping around like this.
Fuck.
Like
Dude,
somebody's
I
pulling
swear
on
to
it.
God, are those pot holders by your microwave?
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, like an hour ago, I swear I saw one of those move. You could probably see me freaking out in the camera. And I just didn't say nothing.
I think I saw you react to it, and I was like, I didn't want to look.
I don't want to. I don't want to look around.
Right.
Right.
It's
now,
so
dude.
weird.
It's like it just gets weird, man.
The Mummy's out now.
I know.
This is
You put it out.
profound on the podcast. Talk about this mummy all the time. I bought a case for it, put a bunch of crystals around it.
A glass case.
Glass case. I bound it.
With a mirror behind it.
With a
Right.
mirror behind it. I'm not looking in that mirror.
Dude, it's right across from you, too.
I know.
This is the weirdest things keep happening.
I know. But no, there's these guys. I think this happened like last month, but a week after it happened, somebody told me about it. And he said that there was these two guys that were supposed to, I guess, kind of clean up and dig graves. And this was in the middle of the day. They were digging a hole for a grave, and they accidentally dug up an unmarked grave.
Oh, shit.
Now, when they dug this grave up, they accidentally pulled the top off of this grave, and there was a woman in the coffin. Now, she must have been there for a long time. She was just bones, and she was wearing an elk-tooth dress. Now, I don't know how long this...
It wasn't Jasper.
That wasn't Jasper, was it? Jasper sleeping.
He's laying down by her. Nope.
That's gross.
That is gross, man.
That's worse.
So, they dig this grave up.
Because I've been hearing Jasper this whole time.
Yeah.
I know, me too.
And it's not Jasper.
Nope.
Oh, man. Do you think Bella's upstairs?
You can't hear her like that.
No, you can't.
And a whistle?
Fuck.
What was that? That was okay. I'm gonna say okay. That was you.
That was me.
I'm just like literally reacting to every sound now.
Like, God damn it. Charlie's everywhere.
Okay, let me get back into the story.
That?
Yeah, that.
That has to be the TV, right? Are they watching
No,
Totoro?
That was loud, though. Like,
It was really loud. I'm gonna keep one headphone off for a second.
that was Jasper.
Okay.
Okay, continue.
Fuck
Anyway, let's get back into this. So these these two guys were digging graves in Crow. Now they accidentally dig up an unmarked grave. Now when they dig the unmarked grave up, they accidentally pulled the top off, and they saw a woman
with elk-tooth dress.
with an elk-tooth dress. Now this woman must have been down there for a while because she was, just bones.
Well, they say you could go all the way to bones in like 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it isn't that long.
But within 10 years, you'd think that grave would have been marked.
Right.
Yeah,
what I
who
mean?
knows?
Now, when they dug this up, and they're like, okay, we better mark this grave and cover it back up. So they cover her back up, and they bury it, and they get in the truck, and they have like a 4-door truck, and they drive to the next site. So they pull up to this next site, and they get out of the truck, and one guy gets out, the other guy gets out. They close the doors, and after they close the doors, they heard the back door open of the truck. Now it's only 2 people. And they both turn around and look, and they see a woman step out the back of the truck. And the door closes. And she's looking right at them. She doesn't walk to them. She literally glides up to their face. And they said she just had this kind of like pissed off look on her face. And she moves over to the other guy, right to his face. And they say she just backs up and turns, and then she just goes until she's gone. Now these 2 guys literally get back in the truck, drive down to the office, and they quit right on the spot. I can't remember their names, but they literally told them what happened, and they quit right there.
Yeah, I'm fucking done.
Yeah, they were done. This was in the middle of the day, and this literally scared the hell out of them that they ended up quitting. Like,
Right.
man, I don't care if you think I'm
Where
crazy.
is the cemetery in Crow?
Oh
up
man,
on
we literally live right next to it when we're down there.
Yeah.
It's up by the water
Like
tower.
within 100 yards at least.
Right. Because I've never gone to a funeral in Crow. I always go to Lodge Grass. I end up there.
Right. They have a nicer cemetery up in Lodge Grass.
Yeah.
Down in Crow, it's kind of, it's back there, but it's like
Yeah.
they have a lot of, there's like no tombstones. It's not really up.
Well, there's
kept or
tombstones
kept
and stuff, but it hasn't been kept up in a little while. But I think they were cleaning it up. Now they have a whole crew doing this
Okay.
after what happened.
Right.
And yeah, I remember, man, it was creepy. Like, because my grandma's house, literally her backyard, there was just a short field, and the graveyard was right there. Now we'd hear people crying there, literally at like 3:00 in the morning, at the graveyard.
Oh, dude, I remember I had some buddies die in a car wreck when I was in high school, and me and my buddy Justin would go out to the cemetery at like 3 a.m, just drunk, and fucking cry around and shit too. And
you'd hear that all the time there. But this one time, I remember my grandma was standing out in the back of the house, and me and Juno actually went out there. Juno went out there first, and I was kind of sitting there, like, what the hell is he doing? So I walk up and I look, and I remember seeing the screen door, there, but the door was open. And I walk up to see what they're doing. I open the door, and there's this light going around the entire graveyard.
I remember this.
Quick, like it couldn't have been a person running. This thing was just moving.
Right.
And my grandma said it was doing that for I don't know how long. She said she was just sitting there watching it circle the graveyard. Man, you'd see crazy stuff.
What's a scary, ugly one that me and Rebel had? I just remember this one. We moved to our new house, and it's like not too far from the cemetery still. Yeah. We're down the road, and we're in the corner house. And this is the time where Mom and them had the back door open, so you can go out the back door. And this is before they had they put some stuff there. But I remember watching a video, and it was one of the big ones going around YouTube a long time ago. It was like when YouTube was like just now coming out, and people are putting up ghost videos finally. And there was one of security guards in Argentina, and they pan, and they're kind of messing around, like just goofing around, and nobody's coming through their security. They're outside, and nobody's coming through their port or whatever. Like really just plain straight, like a plane. They're on a plane. There's like no hills or anything, and goofing around. And this guy kind of gets startled a little bit. His whole mood changes, and they pan the camera over. This guy pans over, and he starts shaking, and there's a dress out there. Like you can see a dress, like a light silhouette, and you hear this lady just start laughing, weird, ugly, like a witch's laugh, like really loud, right? And they freak out, and they go inside, whatever. When we're freaking out about this video, and that laugh was stuck in my head, and me and
Law Lorne.
yeah, me and Merble have the idea. Let's go outside and just hang out outside, and we should like just hung out there and like told stories and things. We go outside in the back and turn the lights off, and we start talking and stuff, and we hear that same exact laugh.
Oh my god!
Outside, loud as hell. And it freaked us out.
Fucking back inside. Real fast, huh?
One of the things that creeped me out about living by the graveyard, I remember we were outside, and I was talking to Roman, and we were smoking a cigarette, and the sun was barely coming up. Like we used to just stay up all night, and the sun was barely coming up, and we start hearing down, literally far, like going toward Hardin, dogs barking. No, it was like a trail. They'd slowly start moving toward us, and finally got to our street. Now this was like the only street up there, up on that hill. All the other houses are down housings and all that. Right. So we were up in like the up at the water tower, and I remember I was like, man, what the hell's going on? And he said it's probably the spirits going back to the graveyard. He said it's usually around this time, by sunrise, they say that the spirits make their way back. And I was like, that's kind of a creepy thought. But what creeped me out was when it got to our street, the dog would start barking at this house, and it would slowly move every house. These dogs were looking at the street, and this dog would be looking right here, and his eyes would follow something, and he'd be barking. And then the dog next door would be staring that way. And when we'd get in front of that house, same thing. That dog would watch something walk, and he'd start growling and barking at something. And then these dogs literally followed something. We didn't see anything. Followed something up going toward the road that leads to the graveyard.
Oh, fuck.
They were literally growling and barking. And I was just like, we were just sitting on the deck watching, and just the road and our yard, just that small space in between, we're just sitting there watching these dogs like literally turn their heads like they're growling and barking at something that we couldn't see.
Right.
Wow. Got to apologize. My son's awake, and it's the noise you hear in the background right now.
But man, have you
had any more experiences at your house since then?
No, not since the whole, well, I think we did hear toys moving again, like, later on, but I can't, like, tell you exactly how long ago.
Have you thought about, like, what could be causing that, or besides the podcast?
No, really, because, well, I don't know. That like, hallway where my kids' room is has always been creepy since I was a kid.
Mm.
And here it wasn't until, like, recently I found out that my grandpa's mom, that was, like, her last bedroom before she died.
Wow.
So she ended up dying in the hospital, but she was staying in that room back in the 80s, the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
And I never met the lady, but there's sometimes grandma thinks she sees her mother-in-law standing in front of her bed at night.
Wow.
But she hasn't in a long time. But she's never home, too. She's always out and about. But I haven't felt anything do anything in forever. Like, I've been in and out of that house my whole life,
Right.
And it's just recently some weird shit started happening, and I have no idea what it is.
Or what's causing it,
Or what's causing it. I almost think it's just like, like looking into paranormal shit and like going to like ghost hunts and stuff brings stuff home with you.
Yeah.
And we haven't had our house blessed in a while, and I think it just needs,
Right.
kicked out.
Right.
So
That's why we got to do
That
this
makes
place.
sense.
Right.
Oh, you definitely got to do that to this place.
I know.
That's like not even a joke.
I know.
right. Yeah, I just think it's from all like the research and like I've always been into like dark shit, but like lately it's been like worse. I've been like really getting into the ghost stories and stuff.
Right, and that's one of the things too with demons and how they work is they're able to come through imagery, sound, smell,
Yeah.
topics, things of
I
nature.
burnt a bunch of cheese in my oven today. Probably scared them out.
There's some smells.
There's smells there for
And
sure.
one of the things too is they have memory. So if a place is blessed or if a person is possessed and they get that cast out, the demon remembers you. They remember because when they think about it, attachment is they take on the personality of the person.
right.
They'll take on the ambiance of the place. They'll give you smells of somebody.
Familiar spirits.
Right. And this is one of the big old things with demons. And this is something you don't really hear people talk about with paranormal, especially TV. Nobody talks
Yeah.
about how actual demon works.
And you know what's weird I think about it is last year I was going through like a lot of depression.
Right.
Just from working the hours I was working and like not having enough money to get by still. Like I was super depressed last year and didn't have any paranormal shit happen at my house.
Interesting.
But as soon as like I got over that depression, started working at a good job again, and we're not like struggling anymore, and like the house is happier, now we're getting weird stuff going
Like
on.
it's trying to bring that back.
Like it's almost pissed off that it doesn't have that emotion to feed off
Yeah.
of.
Right. And that's one of the signs, especially with possession, is depression.
Yeah.
And not saying you're possessed or anything, but when a demonologist comes in or if a priest comes in from the Vatican or something, one of the things they follow is the signs. It's depression, oppression, and possession. And so a lot of you can chalk that like depression up to being people. I mean, there's especially science around it, around depression, things of nature. I don't dispute that, but that is a side effect of demon.
Yeah.
Right, the negative energy you just bring with depression.
Right. And that's one of the things that you don't really hear on TV is how demons can interfere with your life. They can interfere with your finances.
Yeah.
If you allow certain things into your house, there was I've been reading on this a lot because we're going on Miranda Young's Ghost Biker Garage, and she wants us to do like a whole biblical thing about this and pick apart different cryptids and see if we can find any biblical reference, because she was fascinated when we went on the podcast.
Started talking about it.
Yeah, and I was able to pull out different, because she's a Christian herself, and I was able to pull out biblical references to different things, different happenings, and describe those to a T with scripture.
We should do a podcast on the Book of Enoch.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, we're talking
but
about that.
The way that the demon works is it's able to affect your finances. It's able to affect your relationships. It's able to affect your thinking,
Your mood.
and everything, and things of that nature. And when you get it cast out, they don't mention, like when you see a possession on TV, whether it's a movie or somebody investigating this on TV, which you don't really see people investigate possessions, because the huge thing about that is the Vatican. They don't allow people to tape that. Some of them do. Some exorcists do. But demons have memory. And the thing about a demon is it's always looking for a place to inhabit. And it's always looking for, it'll take an animal, it'll take an object, it'll take somewhere where it can rest. And the rest that the demon is, like they'll say the demon's resting in somebody, the rest is it's tormenting somebody or something. And it's, you hear these stories about people and their cats are acting weird and the cat's walking sideways.
My dog does keep shitting in my house. He's pissing me off. It's probably what it is.
Right. And people that are listening, there's signs of this, whether that's headaches or stomach aches or certain things happening in your life, and that can be attributed to some sort of dark presence. And people,
Yeah, I would say that's why you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach.
right.
You know, when you sense something bad.
Right. Because they say that's where your spirit rests. Yeah.
Rests.
But that's one of the things we're going to get into with Miranda Young, is how those can have effect, and especially because I know a lot of people dispute that, but there is a spiritual side of every person. Like, we're a spiritual person or a spiritual being. I don't believe that the body is like who I am. You know what I mean? That's like
It's just your shell.
Right, the shell. But when you're a spiritual being and you have this body and you have physical things tied to you, whether it's finances and things or your car and things of nature, and you have these things that are trying to come in or trying to revisit you, because demons will come and check on you.
Yeah.
And they'll make sure, like, are you still saved, or is your house still blessed?
And
or
when they come back with how many more that are worse?
Right, 7 times more.
7 times more that are 7 times worse.
Right. And they remember exactly, those get right back into the routine, and
Because they know you.
right. And demons don't act right away either, is they'll wait.
Patience.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So you have all these investigators on TV and things, and they're trying to talk to a demon and try to mess with it. The thing about it is the demon's not going to answer you right then.
No.
He's going to wait. And then once you're more susceptible, whether you're at home or whether you're good with money or something, then it hits you. And you really don't know what's happening. Like, your money's going low, your finances, your relationships are deteriorating, or your job, whatever, you get fired, or you're having problems, even problems with people in your workplace.
Yeah.
Is when something happens to you, we're not saying like everything's demonic, like every sickness is demonic, because you live in a fallen world. Not every financial situation is demonic. Not every, thought would be. Well, I guess thoughts they could be that way, but but do you think but you live in a fallen world, and you have a demon who's able to influence those things.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I always thought, like, every time I heard about stories of past lives, I always thought that's what it was.
Right.
It wasn't your memory, it was the demon's memory.
Right.
Like, you hear these kids talk about saying, oh yeah, like, I remember living in this house at this address, this was my name, and this is how I died. Like, I don't think it's their memory of past lives. I think it was the demon that's trying to attach itself to this person.
Oh, it could be.
That could be that demon's memories.
Right. And the way they snake their way into your life is through anything. It could be something small. And the thing I was saying about people, like you're butting heads with your boss or something, is there could be some sort of spiritual element to that. And people don't realize that if they get their house blessed, or they get themselves blessed, whatever, or they start, because this is one of the things with entrepreneurs especially, is thought conjuring, or speaking things and speaking positively.
Right. Speaking things into existence.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is an actual real principle, and it works. For many people, billionaires talk about this.
Your mindset.
Right. And what they don't realize is that this is a spiritual thing.
Yep.
And when something bad happens, you immediately start saying, thank you. I thank you for this accident. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise, things of that nature. You start thanking and I guess, thinking opposite what actually happened. And you'll find a lot of times when you start, especially with myself and everyone knows now, we study Bibles and things of nature. We grew up Christian, like we start praying, and you notice that a lot of those things start going away and things start clearing up, and it works. And you see, it's funny to see like billionaires talking about this and things of that nature. But the thing about demons they are able to snake their way into your life through different things, whether that's things you listen to or TV or a book you have or things of nature. Will attach themselves to that. Long rant.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yep.
But we're going to be on with Miranda Young in July. We were on there, and this is funny though, because it's always when we do the podcast with somebody, when we're doing we'll call it a Zoom call because no one knows what StreamYard is. But
some people know.
Yeah, it's always when we're talking to somebody about like paranormal, we'll have something happen, but we never capture it on camera.
It's always behind the camera.
Right, we caught an audio though with Russell, and he was hearing a little girl on our side, and we were hearing the same little girl on his side.
We heard a woman, and not only that, he was hearing footsteps, and the camera was where it's sitting now. Actually, it was like the monitor was far back. We even tried to debunk it. We tried to step and move our feet, and the camera wasn't moving. And he said the camera would started shaking and moving by itself. Crazy. He literally smudged his house after we were done talking.
That whole Halloween season, everyone was smudging their house afterwards.
I was like, dude, it got dark.
Dude, I've yet to smudge my house since fucking any of this shit. So. Just letting it fester.
Dude, it was creepy though. Before we heard that voice, it felt like something walked from over here behind me and went this way. Like I could feel it start moving.
Do you ever get that feeling that something sits on your bed while you're sleeping?
Yeah, I got that before.
I get that. My bed's like way off the ground. Like if I'm up at night and I start thinking about my research or watching the alien video when Lethe's sleeping, I think something's going to grab me. So I run to my bed. But it just, that feeling, I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
But I always think something's watching me from that bathroom.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Here and there?
Once in a while, I'll glance at it.
Yeah.
I do. I catch myself. You'll see me. I'll look over there.
It's always that corner. And sometimes I'll think I see something behind that corner right there when I'm walking. I gotta double take.
Right. And see, I don't feel anything bad in that corner. It's your kitchen. I always fucking...
Weird. Yeah.
Because you had experiences in there. That's why.
Right. And we always get our most activity in the kitchen, like with a cereal or something.
That's true.
But that is the most active room in the house when it comes to people too.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually game night and all that shit is all in there.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm going to start changing that, doing the spirit box things in the house with people and find somewhere else to do it because you're channeling that crap into.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Yeah, that stuff's gross.
But it was, I don't know, I heard that story that Wheezy told, and I was like, wow, that was a week after I showed up at your house, huh? And you told me that story about the broom and all that stuff.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if I had told you guys or not.
And it's kind of funny because you always have your experience when you're here with us. It's always him that sees it.
Yeah.
He's always the one that locks eyes.
I was sitting right here,
Right.
right when I leaned up, and I heard that shot glass. And I look over, and this guy's just staring straight, dude. He's not moving. Dude, did you fucking see that? I was like, I heard it.
Yeah, fucking shot glass straight moved.
So is that all you got for the podcast?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, for now, for just bringing up some
Dude,
random
I
shit.
gotta probably have to work by myself tomorrow. And there's, I manage the parks, if you guys know.
Right, yeah.
And every time I get to this one park and I just start
South Park?
thinking about it. No, it's Heimet.
Really? Heimet?
And the reason why, I'll tell you, I don't know if I told you this. Me and Steve went over there, and I think he dropped me off, or he met me over there. But I get off, and he's talking about running back to grab something.
The storage room in that bathroom freaks me out.
It wasn't the storage room. It was the ladies' room. I walk up to the door, and before I put the key in the door, now the doors are locked. This is in the morning. I open them every morning. I get to the door, and right when I put my key in, I hear slamming.
Ooh, fuck.
Loud.
He recorded
loud
this and sent it to me.
slamming.
Like the fucking cops locked somebody in here again.
And this was when Steve was working here, so there's no city police. Now, I hear the slamming. Just bam.
Do the city
bam,
police close up now?
Bam, bam. No, they're here.
Do they close up the parks?
Yeah, they're closing it up now.
Oh, strange. I didn't know that.
Yeah, since they're patrolling and all that, they can, go do it. So I hear this like bam, 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 like that. It's just constant. I was like, what the hell is that? I walk around that wall, go to the back. Now this particular bathroom has vents, one of the bathroom stalls. It's the big stall. And I literally lean down, and this thing is just, you can hear it squeaking and slamming against the wall and closing. And literally I call Steve up. I'm like, hey, Steve, it sounds like there's, slamming around going in the bathroom. And he even told me, he's like, no, I can hear it over the phone. That's how loud it was. He said, I can hear it. And it's dead silent, at the parks in the morning.
Right.
Nobody out, people are at work, no kids at the parks. It's early. And he can hear it over the phone slamming. And he tells me, don't touch the door. Don't open it. Wait till I get there. And the reason why is because if somebody got locked in there, and you don't know if somebody's going to try to attack you or anything like that.
Disgruntled in there.
No, so this person would be locked in there all night.
Right.
And so, like, thinking maybe somebody's trying to get your attention. And I wait. He finally pulls up, literally like 30 seconds later. He pulls up, and literally he walks around the corner where I'm standing, and you hear one more slam, and then we just hear it creak. And we go to the door. We open up the bathroom door, and the door is still creaking open. We walk in there, and there's absolutely nobody in that bathroom. But every time I get to that park, and I always have my AirPods in, 9 times out of 10, I'm listening to a paranormal podcast. So I'm like, man, I start trying not to overthink it.
Me too. I usually listen to the No Sleep podcast.
Oh, God.
And it's
So
fucked up.
I'm always thinking one of these days, man, I'm going to walk out of that stall and that thing's going to slam behind me or something.
Is that the first park you go to in the morning too?
And it's the last, actually.
Oh, that's the first one I used to go to in the morning. So I'd go deal with that park right away, and then go to South Park, and then Custer Park, and then the Mormon Church over there. And then by the time I got done with all those parks, it was break time, so I just go right to the city shop.
Now, he always made jokes like, oh, yeah, whatever, you're just like watching too many scary movies and all that when it brings it up. But in that moment, no, dude, he was creeped out because he was like, there was nobody in there. And he was like, well, look around, make sure, open the storage room. We opened the boys' bathroom. We opened everything up, and we were the only ones there.
See, I wasn't very creeped out at the boys' bathroom, and
No.
I don't remember being that creeped out about the women's, but the storage closet
In the back.
used to freak me out. I used to have to prop that door open. I was always scared it was going to slam on me. It would freak me out. I would get my tools and equipment out of there and like huck them out the door.
It's funny that you bring that up. I went over to the close this one night, and this was around maybe 10 o'clock at night. I go over there. My girls go with me. Sarah's with me. We pull up, and there's nobody there. And Lily goes over and starts playing on the playground
At night?
Yeah, and Sadie, it's literally right by where we park. It's like right there. And Sadie goes up with me. She's like, well, you want me to see if there's anybody in there? I was like, yeah, whatever. And the door's closed. We walk up and we hear women talking in Crow.
Oh, funny.
We hear them talking. It's echoey in there. It's like, oh, maybe there's somebody in there. We'll just wait. I go and check the boys' bathroom. Nobody in there. I lock it up. Stand there waiting. And I was like, maybe they're just hanging out in there, maybe somebody's in there drinking in there or something. I was like, all right, well, I opened it up, opened the door. I knocked on the door. Hey, is anybody in here? You guys got to get out. And it was dead silent. And just as I'm knocking on the wall or the door, Sadie walks in there, she walks in there. She comes bolting out of that bathroom. She runs right past me. As she runs past me, she yells, "There's nobody in there." And she jumps she jumps in the car, and Sarah's looking at her like, what the hell's going on? And Sadie's sitting there just looking out the window. And I'm like, dude, I got chills right there when she
Like,
did
you're the
that.
one that has to go in there and kill this spider.
I was like, oh my God. I kind of sat there for a second. I looked around that corner, and Sarah was just looking at me like, her eyes are big. What the hell's going on? And so I have to walk in there to make sure.
Right, it's weird because that park and the bathrooms and all that are new. They're the newest part of town.
Yeah, but it could be where it's at.
Right.
The land it's on. That's what me and Jeremy were talking about. And I walk in there, and there's nobody in there. So I'm like, oh man, there's nobody in this bathroom. So I'm like, all right. I close the door, and we get in the car. We start backing up, and we get almost, to the road. And I tell Sarah, you got to stop the car. She said, why? I said, I have to check the storage room. Maybe that's where the voices were coming from. And she was like, oh my God, okay. So she starts pulling up. She pulls up to the freaking back. I get out of the car, and then I heard a boom on the door. It's like, oh, maybe there is somebody in there. I walk up, I put my key in, and I turn it, and I'm just standing there waiting, and she was looking at me, and I swing the door open, and completely clear, nobody in there. I just slam it right back shut, lock that sucker, just go to the car. I'm like, nope, let's go home.
Dude, there was sometimes, because there's a light in there.
Yeah, the light's in the storage room.
Yeah. And sometimes I'd go there in the morning, like after I shut the parks down and everything, know that everything's shut down, and that light would be on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck this bathroom every time.
Yeah, dude, that, I don't know why, man. It gets you.
I really want to go to like the archives here and see what kind of history we can pull, because I know this place was like some sort of in World War what they used to keep like prisoners here.
Yeah.
Do you know about that?
World War II?
Was it?
I didn't know they did that here. I know Hart Mountain and Cody used to have Japanese prisoners of war.
Yeah, I thought it was here too.
Yeah, they had
Japanese.
some here too.
Did they?
And
Yeah.
it was at the, now they're not blue apartments, but those blue apartments over there by the school.
Yeah.
They said there used to be a place where they'd keep them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like during a war or something like that, I guess.
Huh.
But there's a lot of things you don't hear about this town. It's like,
Right. I lived in those blue apartments when we first come back from California.
Mark lived there for a bit too.
I don't remember
Yeah.
nothing suspicious. But who knows?
We got to
I
go
was a
do
kid.
research. I think one of the podcasts coming up would be the Book of Enoch and research about that, talk about that. I think this, I don't know, we're getting into, this season's different than the last season because we're getting into more of, I guess, trying to pick apart these things more, and we're going into things we can actually speculate on. I mean, the last podcast we talked about aliens and cryptids and Native American lore, things we can't really prove at the time.
Right. Stuff that's more,
Stuff
that
we
everybody
heard-
can relate to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like Native American lore, that stuff is like, I mean, hearing about that growing up, and actually people talk about sightings that just happened like yesterday. It was pretty crazy, like, hearing that kind of stuff.
There's a
That's why
story-
I like talking about that.
I think I'll leave the audience with, and it's, do you remember that story Dakota told you?
Oh my God, was it with the goat?
Do you remember it? Because you probably remember it better than I do.
Dude, that just creeped me the hell
This is
out.
Can you tell that story?
I can't remember the whole story, but
Have to get Dakota over here.
I just remember them talking about it, like walking on two legs, and it was like dancing and
Right,
moving.
I'll do my best.
After they killed this thing.
Right,
It's a gross story, dude. You gotta
So
hear
the
it.
family apparently got a goat, and this thing started to, this one day, they kept it in like this little enclosure out there in the field, and one day they noticed that the goat was walking on two legs, and we see this like online as things, these goats, and Native
It's just
American
not
traditions
very
different.
often.
Right. Native American tradition's different, and they said, well, you got to go and get rid of that goat or kill the goat, and because it's like a bad omen or something.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, so we'll do that. And they said this goat would be weird. Like the grandma was in the house, and she remembers this goat coming up, and she said she heard footsteps on her porch, like human footsteps, but it was like clinky, like a goat, like, right?
Yeah, the hooves.
And she hears a knock at the door. And so she thinks someone's there. She looks out, and this goat's on two legs knocking on her door. And this is a goat they bought. And this is the family tells this story. Not too far off either. It's like pretty recent. And so then they made the choice that they got to kill this goat. Like there's some sort of spirit or something inside of this thing. And
He looked back there, didn't he?
yeah. And anyways, they decided to kill the goat. They killed the goat, and they have this. Everyone's getting together and they're telling stories around a campfire. It's dark, and they're telling ghost stories. And one of the people at I think they leave the campfire or something, and they're going this spot or something like that, because I remember the goat was by the campfire now. And they said, when you guys got to put out the fire? And they turn around, and the goat's out there that they just killed. The scary thing about it is this goat was like doing a weird dance. Like it had its arms out and it was able to like move them like weird.
Like a person.
Like a person.
Like he said, it had its arms outward and it was moving in a weird
It was
way.
doing the wave.
Yeah,
it was,
basically.
like, doing the Squidward.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll leave you guys with that one. Alethea's got to do something out here, so I guess we'll wrap up here.
Man, you just literally triggered a story on me I was going to tell, but I can tell it later.
Okay,
It's
so-
that goat man story I told you, or the
Oh,
devil
right.
Why is
story.
it goats, dude? Goats suck.
So we're gonna
Fuck
we're gonna
goats.
get to more podcasts like this if people like it. Just like bantering about random stuff and different topics.
Maybe I'll tell that goat man story later.
Right.
Or they call it goat man, but it's the devil.
Right. So you guys can go to fallenhour.com. We have some merch on it. We have some stickers. We're going to be putting up other things. You guys can purchase our notes. We'll sign those notes. We have a poster coming up also. The Fallen Hour poster, 3L poster. It'll be up for sale on the website. We're going to be ordering some new stuff. Everything Fallen Hour.
Designing new posters.
Right. Everything Fallen Hour. Visit fallenhour.com. My name is Sia Lenik. This is Marcus, Aaron Baker. Finger guns. And you're
We're
listening
out.
to Fallen Hour Radio.
This one was all over the place.